We started this channel exactly 1 year ago today. So we're gonna celebrate with today's recipe. And before I get carried away, I'm Claudia with eColor with Claudia. Thank you for watching. And today's recipe is lasagna. So many people have been asking me to make it. And so what better day than today to do it? And I know sometimes a lot of people are a little intimidated about making lasagna. So my goal today is at the end of this video, you will be so pumped and so ready to make it for yourself and your family. And this is my mother's authentic, delicious lasagna recipe. Now for lasagna, you need to have the right ingredients. And so the first thing are the noodles. Now you can buy noodles already pre-baked. You can also put a raw noodle in your casserole pan, and people say like the sauce will cook the noodle for you. I've done them both, and to be honest, in my opinion, I like it best when you take your noodles out of the box and you cook it in boiling water first. It just comes out soft and plump. We need a sauce, a delicious, flavorful tomato sauce. This is homemade Southern Italian tomato sauce. Another one of my mother's amazing recipes, which I have a video to show you how to make it. You gotta make sure you watch it. Every lasagna needs a really good filling, and this filling is a ricotta cheese filling. Get the good stuff. I really like this Galvani ricotta cheese. You can get it in Texas here at Randall's. It's fabulous. Some chopped up parsley, some fresh Parmesan. It's best to try to grate it yourself, and an egg. And now just stir this up. Let's add a little salt and a little pepper. And we'll give it one more stir. And now we're gonna need layers of mozzarella cheese and more Parmesan. So, okay, here's the trick. We need this nice, fresh, fall, high moisture mozzarella. Try to get the best cheese you can find. Okay, but the problem is with the high moisture, it's really squishy, and sometimes it's really hard to grate it. It's like, because it's mushy. So what I do, here's a great trick. Stick your mozzarella balls in the freezer for 15, 30 minutes even. And then it makes it so easy to grate. 2 of these done. And what about meat? Well, my mom made a meatless lasagna. I know, before you freak out, it's the most delicious lasagna ever. And I think the whole purpose was because you have your meatless lasagna, and then you have your meatballs and your sausage on the side. So, but that being said, this recipe is her recipe. However, I have a growing family, and some of the guys really, they're meat lovers. And so I've been compromising. And so what I'm gonna do is, I'm starting to put meatballs in my lasagna. Not in meat sauce. No, the sauce is still just a tomato sauce, but we're gonna add some meatballs. The most amazing meatball video out there, so you need to watch it, how to make these meatballs. And if you watch the video, it'll say that you cook your meatballs halfway in the oven, and then the other half you put them in the sauce, to cook them in the sauce to complete the cooking. Well, in the lasagna, you cook them halfway in the oven, and then the other half, it cooks inside the lasagna. So I have a dozen meatballs, and each meatball I just cut into 4 slices. Now let's get our noodles going. We got a roaring boil. We're gonna add salt, put them in 1 at a time. And I usually just put like 6 noodles in there at one time. And we're gonna do a total of 12 noodles. So I'll do 6 and then 6. We're gonna cook them for 8 minutes. And it's important too to always use a wooden spoon. So it's been 8 minutes, and now I've laid out some wax paper. And you wanna just take out your noodles and put them on the wax paper so they'll cool and dry, and they won't stick together. This is how my mom taught me. And you know, moms, they know what they're talking about. Okay, everything is ready. It's time to assemble. Okay, the pan. Now, I always use a deep dish pan, but I usually use a big lasagna pan because I always have a huge family to feed. But today there's just 4 of us, so we're gonna use a smaller pan. Now, I might have some leftover ingredients, but that's okay because I'm gonna make some lasagna soup with my leftovers. Now, one little minor deviation from my mom's recipe, other than adding the meatballs, don't tell her. But, okay, the ricotta cheese. Now, I always had the hardest time spreading the ricotta cheese. So what I've learned over the years, you add just a little bit of your tomato sauce. Maybe just like, 2 spoonfuls, that's plenty. And stir it up. And this way, then, it'll be a lot more spreadable. Now, preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And now there's an order to the lasagna, all the layers. So how many layers, how many ingredients that you have to leave for each layer is always an issue. So we're gonna make this super, super easy. So your lasagna, divide these by 3. Your ricotta cheese is gonna be 2 layers of those. Your Parmesan and your mozzarella, you're gonna have a total of 3 layers. Your sauce, you're gonna have plenty. And then meatballs, if you're using meatballs, divide these up in half, you're gonna have a total of 2 layers for the meatballs. One more piece of useful information, your noodles, the size. So normally I make them in these big lasagna pans, so you don't usually have much trouble. The lasagna noodle fix the whole thing, but I don't know what kind of pan you're using, right? And I'm using this small pan. And like, look, I'm gonna have to, so get a piece of scissors, and you might have to like cut your lasagna noodles so that they fit in there nicely. Just a little piece of information, and save your noodles. Like I said, you can make lasagna soup with them. Okay, let's begin. No, not yet. We need to make a toast. We need to make a toast to 1 year of the channel. Cheers to all of you for watching, for subscribing, for telling all your friends and your family about Eat Color with Claudia. And this coming year, we have so many great new ideas and new recipes. And it's just really, really exciting for us. And I just really hope that you're having as much fun in your kitchen as I am here, and that you're reaping the rewards of your beautiful efforts by making amazing, fabulous dishes like this lasagna. So cheers. First layer, put a little bit of sauce. Now the noodles. And I trimmed my noodles. Now this pattern, starting with the noodles, is gonna go 2 times. You have the sauce, the meatballs, if you're using meatballs, ricotta cheese, mozzarella cheese, Parmesan, and your noodles, sauce, the meatballs, ricotta cheese, mozzarella, parm, and noodles. And this is where it changes. On top of the noodles, just gonna put sauce on the top. The next layer of mozzarella and Parmesan go later. Pop this in the oven for 30 minutes, and now you can like relax because we've got nothing to do, at least for 30 minutes. Alrighty, it was in there for 30 minutes, and then we're gonna add some more cheese, some mozzarella cheese, mozzarella on the top, the rest of it, and then the Parmesan. And then we're gonna put this back in the oven for about another 10 minutes or until we see it all nice and melted. I'm starving. Oh, this is gonna be so good. Look at this lasagna. See how it's bubbling around the edges? It cooked to perfection. Now we have to wait. We have to wait 10 minutes, at least 10 minutes, for this lasagna to set. So when we cut a nice piece, it'll all, stay together. Finally time for us to dig in. This lasagna looks amazing. A perfect blend of flavors and textures. I'm telling you what a ball and what a celebration for today. And until next week, bon appetit.